Hello, I'm going to give you a little bit of help with this lab. This lab is lab 16, the spinal cord and spinal nerves. And this lab, completing this lab before you take your test on chapter 12 will help you with chapter 12. So basically, you're just going to fill in the blanks on this lab. There is a small test that you have to do. So you're going to just go through and answer all the questions. Do your making connections and all that. It starts on page 280. You don't need to do the pre-lab. You need to fill in every chart. The experiment begins with activity 16.3. And this is, you'll be doing what's called a 2-point discrimination test. And you'll be testing yourself. So you need to have some other person test you. Or, you could test them. It really doesn't matter. So you're going to read through this, try to understand the 2-point discrimination test and the whole fact about receptive fields. So a receptive field is the area of the skin, the area that is sensitive to a single sensory neuron. And if the receptive fields are small, then you'll be very, very sensitive to touch, for example. If the receptive fields are large, you won't be very sensitive. So you're going to be performing this test on the following skin regions: tip of the index finger, dorsal surface of the hand, posterior surface of the neck, and so on. Before you begin, you want to examine the sensory homunculus in the figure above. I think I'll go back to that. So this is called a sensory homunculus, and we also have a motor homunculus. But what it's telling us is, here's the brain, here's like a section of the brain, and this light, the tan, is white matter, and the brown is gray matter. And what this represents, the fact that we have this icing on our brain of gray matter. So most of the brain is white matter, and then you've got this coating of gray matter. It's really quite small, but that's our cerebral cortex. And this is telling us what areas of the cerebral cortex are devoted to feeling sensations. So there is a hand. The wrist has a small portion. The hand has a large portion devoted to sensation. The index finger, and so on. Not a whole lot devoted to the leg. So you're going to be testing your body parts to see how sensitive they are. First, you're going to make predictions. You're going to predict, you're going to rank them on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the highest density. So if it's high density, it's most sensitive. So which body part here do you think is the most sensitive? It will be number 1. And then you're going to do your trials. So you are going to take a paper clip or a piece of wire, kind of thicker wire, and make it into, you're going to open it up and then make it into this compass, this 2-point compass. The compass has to be at the same level. You can't have one short and one long. They have to be right at the same level. Now you're going to make them 1 millimeter apart, and that's a bit of a problem for us as Americans because we've all forgotten what our millimeters are. So you can see here we've got some numbers on a ruler. If you don't have a ruler at home, you can probably download a picture on the internet and print it on paper. But the numbers 17 to 18 is a centimeter. And that is about the width of your pinky. We're interested in millimeters. The smallest unit there is the millimeter. So you're first going to arrange the 2 points of your measuring compass so they're 1 millimeter apart. So let's say you're testing your lab partner. Their eyes are closed. You gently place the points of the compass 1 millimeter apart on their index finger. they will say how many points they feel, like how many points they feel. One, it feels like 1 point. It doesn't matter how many there are, it's what they feel. And then you're going to increase it to 2 millimeters. They feel 1 point. Again, their eyes are closed. You're going to increase it to 3 millimeters. They feel 2 points. That is your actual measurement, would be 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters, whatever, however the distance those points were when they felt 2 sensations. I hope that's clear. So you're testing one body part several times until they feel 2 points. Tip of the finger, dorsal surface of the hand, and so on. Their eyes are always closed. You're just increasing the distance between the prongs by 1 millimeter with each test. Then you start again with it at 1 millimeter. For each new body part, you start at 1 millimeter and increase until they can feel 2 points. That's how you do that. There is one, you can study about the dermatomes. The one thing we cannot do is test our nerves, which it's a really nice way to test, but we don't have tuning forks. So you cannot do the tuning fork activity. You can do absolutely everything but fill in the chart for the tuning fork, and then you will complete the entire lab review, and you will take pictures of them in order. You will put them into a Word document in order, and then you can submit that. I will have that at chapter 12, and you can submit that anytime. It's Tuesday night. Now I'll give you till Saturday, even though you're taking your test earlier. I do suggest you do it before you take your test. So you'll be submitting that by Saturday at midnight. And just talk to me online if you have any questions about that lab. That's it.